Good evening, viewers. Today I'm going to discuss a very, very important chapter of my life. In fact, the major portion of my life, which I am going to talk about today, something which has been very private and personal to me, but I needed to talk about it because it's been a very important part of my life, my being, my what I am as a person, and what made me that person today I am, and that person who is responsible majorly for what I am today. I'm talking about my partner, my friend, my companion for the last 22 years, where we're together and spent one of the best years of my life with. And I'm talking about my companion and friend and partner, Varsha Desai. Varsha Desai is a person that comes in your life once in a lifetime. And there are very few people who are what she was or she is to me even today, though we are not together. But in fact, I just came back from Bombay yesterday, and I went to see her, and we spent about 2-3 hours together, and it was really nice. So let me go back to the year 1986-87, when I had just got out of my relationship with with this lady whom I had a relationship with for about 5-6 years, the air hostess whom I had a relationship with, and I had just got over that, and I was alone in those days in 86, 87, still living in Pali Hill, and I had an office in Kalyan Das Udyog Bhavan, at Shah Nahar Industrial Estate at Lower Parel, which was, I had moved in from Kalyan Das Udyog Bhavan in Century Bazaar, which was a small office, and I had moved to a bigger office. And we had a common friend called Mr. Arun Arora, who was my chartered accountant. And he came to me one day in the office to meet me on my work, and we were in college, we were in school and school together. So he was doing all my accounts and stuff like that, and handling my books. And he came up to me and he said, "You know, Rajan, I have another friend whom I've known from school days and whom you also know, her husband. Her name is Varsha Desai." So I said, "No, I don't think I know her." She said, "But you know her husband. His name is Anami Desai." I said, "Yeah, Anami and me were in school together." So we all connected that Anami, Arun, myself, we were in school together. He said, "No, she is his wife, and they have recently, separated. And she has two very young children. Maybe at that time they were 5 or 6 or something like that. And she is a very upcoming interior designer, and she's taken a office or a gala, what we call over there. And I would like you to introduce you to her and meet her." So that's how I met Varsha. And after I met Varsha, I think, maybe clicked or something. But she was from a very conservative Gujarati family, and her maiden name was Varsha Dalal, and she used to stay in Bandra, in Bandra on one road, in an apartment with her parents. Next to that, she had left the marital home, which was at Pedder Road at Devashish, and moved there with the children because she had separated from her husband for whatever reason. And she was trying to make a life of her own and working hard in the interior business. And her claim to fame at that time was she had done Rekha's bungalow. She was one of the, and a very close friend of Rekha, the actress, and she had done Rekha's Bungalow, which I don't think too many people or anybody has seen from what it looks from inside. I was very fortunate also to see her because I knew Rekha from Vinod Mehra days. When she was with Vinod Mehra, so we used to meet a lot. And then after that episode, I mean, I kind of uh, got away from her for a number of years. And then it was destiny, sheer destiny, that with Varsha, she was Varsha's closest friend. And I connected, and when Rekha got to know that I'm with Varsha, I met Varsha, she was ecstatic and very happy and glad that she's found somebody. But by that time, Varsha and me had started seeing each other, but there was no relationship as such and whatever it was. And uh, we started meeting each other, and I was on my own, and she was single, she was struggling. And she also was very much with the Reliance Group. Dhirubhai Ambani was very close to her. And that time they used to stay at Sea Wind and Cuff Parade, and she was also doing up Sea Wind at that time, where Dhirubhai and Mukesh and Anil and all were staying together, and she was also doing the interiors of that one. And I think Varsha in some ways distantly also related to Neeta, because Neeta Ambani before that was also Neeta Dalal. So that connection I think was also there. But as we got to know each other, we grew closer to each other. We started going out and meeting and having dates and going out for dinners and stuff like that. And then I went to meet her children, and they were very young. They were all living in a one-bedroom apartment. And I met her parents, very, very nice people, Manar Jay and his wife, and very conservative Gujarati family. At that time, when this happened, all this happened, I don't know how it happened or when it happened, we just got together and started seeing each other. And I had bought a bungalow at Lokhandwala on Link Road, which was just lying there empty. And I just told her, I said, and I had moved my office in Shahnahar in the city. I had about 8 galas, about maybe 4,000-5,000 square feet. So to start with, I told her, I said, will you do up my office and just do my office up? So she said, why not? So she started doing the office, and she did such a fantastic job of an office in Lower Parel in an industrial estate. And I had it's like a duplex kind of an office which she made with a nice balcony, and it is absolutely a wonderful office in those days. And we had a grand opening of it, and I remember my father, mother, and everybody, and I think even Rekha came all the way to that place called Lower Parel for the office. It was so nice of her to be there, and she was very, very close to us. And we had a very good opening. When this happened, and I saw her work, one thing about Varsha is that she's very, very particular about detailing and finish. And she wouldn't compromise on that. And I was watching her when she was doing all this, and she was doing it with all her heart and soul with it. After this office opening, and we were together, I told her, I said, I have this bungalow which I bought from Lokhandwala. It's not a big place. It's about maybe 7,000-8,000, 10,000 square feet plot, which built up and all. But Lokhandwala is like a middle class area. It wasn't Juvele Parle or Pali Hill or something like that at that time. And I had bought it for something like 4 lakhs of rupees or something, paying 25,000 rupees installment to Lokhandwala, Siraj Lokhandwala. And I said, it's just lying there. So would you like to do that place up? And, I want to see how it works out. He said, why not? So we started working on that bungalow. And I think it took about maybe a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. And she did that bungalow. And that bungalow turned out to be one of the best bungalows which were there in Bombay at that time. And believe me, I think we will show you pictures of that while I'm talking to you of that bungalow. And she won an award or whatever it is. But she did. It was a work of love that she did. And then at that time, as the children were growing up, I told her, I said, well, why don't we kind of move in together and live together? She was not very keen at the beginning, but as our relationship grew, and because I had not got my divorce at that time, there was no other option, and I requested her. But then she bought a flat next to us, there where she stayed with the children and overseeing the bungalow being done. When the bungalow was ready, we moved in and with her children, and we lived there. And those years of our lives, I think it was one of the best years of our lives, where we used to party. And so it was in maybe 88, 89 or something like that. And in 90, I got into movies. And in 90, I released my first film, Apu Raja, on the 19th of June, and then subsequently about 10, 15 films, which I made during the period of 90 to 2000. And she was all a part of it. And during that time, I had bought a building in Andheri East at the Seeps zone. And that building was about 20,000 square feet. And I had bought that building, and I asked her, will you do up this building? So she said, of course I will. And that building, when it got done, to cut the story short, was absolutely a work of love which is beyond anything that she did. She created such a beautiful piece of art in that building, the 20,000 square feet which she made. I mean, we were in Milan, Italian marble, you name it, everything that happened. And all this, the office turned out to be absolutely stunning. It's absolutely, and people were flying down from all over India to see what an office we made. So this was all Varsha's doing. And Varsha in the meantime was also with Reliance and working with Dhirubhai and Mukesh and Neeta. And she started getting more involved in that as time went by. Varsha had a dream. She wanted to have an Italian furniture showroom. And I made her dream come true. And in my building on the ground floor, we had a large showroom called Varachka Concepts. And we went to Italy, we bought Italian furniture, we did it up well, and we opened a furniture showroom for her. And this was opened by Dutt Saab. Neeta Ambani came in, Tina Ambani came, and we had a grand opening, and she did very well. So that was the journey we had. In the meantime, our relationship grew. She was, I would say, a perfect hostess, a lovely friend, a true companion, and a mother who looked after her children and brought up, as a single mother, brought up the children. And I came into their lives, and I was a part of their lives till the time they grew up and went to America for their further education, came back, and they grew up. And of course now they are married, settled down very happily, God bless them. And then in some time in 97 or 98, I had 97, I turned 50. And 1 week before, I was having a very big birthday party at the Leela Hotel in Andheri, in the airport. And I had called about 500 people because I was in the movie business. And I mean, my name was all over, on television, on papers, on on interviews and stuff like that, being in the glamour field. One week before, there was a massive income tax raid which I had. That raid shook me up completely, and it lasted for about 48 hours. And at that time, and whatever happened, and there were some big names involved in all that, and that was the starting point of my feeling of getting fed up with being in India, having everything, having 5 offices, having an office, a lovely home, a lovely office, cars, Varsha, the whole social circle, the whole film circle. There was this feeling of frustration of being there, of what is happening. And then as my films got released during this time, I had problems from the other side also, from threats from, underworld and stuff like that, because in those days that was what was happening. So there was like a two-edged sword on my head. One was the income tax, one was this problem of the underworld threats, of all this happening, please give us the overseas rights, please take this one, please take that one. And I was looking over my shoulder every time I got out of the house and went to the office, because all my other friends, this had happened with Gulshan Kumar, it had happened with Manmohan Shetty, it had happened with Jammu Sugan, it happened with everybody. And I was at the bottom rung of this whole thing. And I said, there's got to be a better life. So when all this happened and my income tax case was on, and it lasted, believe me, for nearly 15 years or to solve that case. And eventually it was solved by Mr. Sunil Das, my Dutt Sahab, and he helped me solve that case and close it after I had moved to Dubai. In 2000, I decided to move to Dubai and come to Dubai to start life all over again. And at the age of 53, I decided that I will not take any money from Dubai, from Bombay, and move to Dubai. So this episode of moving to Dubai, we will discuss at another time, how I moved to Dubai and what made me move to Dubai. But at the moment, we're talking about my relationship and my life with Varsha for the last 18, 20 years. Varsha was busy. She got a lot of work. She has done a lot of good interior work, and now she's still with Reliance. She's still with Mukesh and Neeta Ambani, and her health is not keeping very well. I was with her 2 days back, and she was not well, and I spent a lot of time with her. God bless her. And her children are settled and everything, and she stays alone in Bandra and Alameda Park. And unfortunate things happened, and in life that we had to part company after 22 years, which was my fault entirely, whatever happened. There were a lot of circumstances that took place, and I was majorly responsible for whatever happened, and that is a regret I have in my life, because she was an absolute wonderful woman. So when I told Varsha, I said, you know what, I think I'll take a chance and move to Dubai and try my luck there and see if something happens. So when in 2000 I moved to Dubai, I was living 15 days in Dubai, 15 days in Bombay. And I was shuttling between these two places because my business was running. I had 5 offices running in India, doing very well, my movies, everything. I did my last film in 2000, Jab Dil Kisi Pe Aata Hai, with Tabu and Nagarjun, and that was my last film. I decided to stop it. When I moved to Dubai, I tried my luck here, it worked out here. And then I couldn't keep two feet on 2 boats. It was impossible, because for me it was getting to be too much to handle, running here, running there. And I told Varsha, I said, I want to move to Dubai. So she was very, very cooperative. She said, absolutely, move to Dubai, but I have my work. in Bombay, cut out with Reliance and all the other jobs that she was busy doing. In the meantime, her daughter Radhika had qualified from Rhode Island School of Design and joined the mother, helping her. And Vikram, her son, had come back from Austin and was doing very well. Some wealth management and something like that, and he was doing very well. So they were all independent, and I said, let me try my luck. Because I was frustrated. I wanted to get out and find a better life. So when I moved to Dubai, I think that was the reason eventually that we grew apart. And in 2004 or 5 or something like that, we finally parted company after 22 years. That again being my fault, entirely not hers. She tried to make the relationship work for some reason, and she tried a lot, but I, at that time, was totally blinded, and I messed up again a second time in my life, my friends. First time was when I left my wife for another woman, and the second time I made the same mistake again with a relationship of 22 years for somebody else. That is the kind of person that I have. You're allowed to make one mistake in life, I made two. And that was my biggest mistake. And when I did realize it, and Varsha had moved back, she moved to Dubai with me. I set up a business for her, for interiors, and everything was working fine when stuff like this happened, and I was totally blinded, and I don't know what happened at that time. There were a lot of things put together which created the situation where we parted company. But after that, when I realized it, and she had gone back to work for Reliance and Mukesh and Neeta, and I went back and I sat on her feet and said, I'm very sorry for whatever happened, and please forgive me and let's get back together. Another very funny thing happened during that time. At that time, all these years, which is about nearly 20, 21 years, I was trying for my divorce for my first wife, which she wasn't giving me. Eventually, after I parted with Varsha, after so many years, 1 month later, I got my divorce, which is really irony of fate, or so to speak. And she got very angry with me. She said, you were purposely not getting your divorce because you didn't want to marry me. I said, I was trying for my divorce, but she couldn't believe it. She said, this is too much of a coincidence. And I went back to her and I said, after one month after I got, I went to her and I remember sitting at her feet in our bungalow. And I said, listen, I'm very sorry. Come on, I've got my divorce. Let's get married and let's live a life of our own. And that time, she says, no, I don't want to come back to Dubai and I don't want to get married. And she was totally heartbroken and hurt. And I don't blame her for it, but it took her a lot of time to get over, and her children were very upset with me and everything. And I had caused them a lot of harm, which I think she still carries that hurt and pain even today. When I met her 2 days back, but we met. But after a few years, she kind of cooled off and we became friends again, and now we talk to each other, we meet each other and discuss each other. The children are settled. But for me, I still have a lot of love and affection for her, and I always will. And I'm always will be there for her. But friends, a man makes these mistakes out of, like I said earlier, you don't think with your heart and mind, you think with something else. And these are the mistakes. This is a very major mistake of my life, which affected again, like my first wife and my 2 children, affected their lives. And this, with Varsha, with 22 years, more than I ever stayed with my first wife, and their children whom I brought up with her, and what kind of what led them to be what they are, and what a what a gash that must have been in their minds and the children and hers, which is irreparable. And I am totally at fault and guilty for whatever that is. And but that's life. Moved on. I'm here now, settled in Dubai. She's in Bombay, and we talk to each other. But really, I would like to end this podcast by telling you that, guys, if you meet a woman like this, don't let her go. Be with her and spend your rest of your life. She's the kind of woman whom I would have loved to spend the rest of my life with, but unfortunately, things didn't pan out. And now there's a lot of water under the bridge, and we're friends forever. And I would wish her and her children the best of health, especially her. And she deserves a lot more that she got, because she was a giver. She gave her life for her parents, she gave her life for her children, and she gave her life for me. And today she is all alone by herself and learning to lead life, and it makes me very sad. But I wish her well, and God bless her. And thank you, friends. There's a lesson to be learned from this. Don't make the mistakes I made in life, and keep the woman you love and appreciate her and adore her. Thank you so much.